The Pittsburgh Steelers' offense has shown some ingenuity early in camp. With the 0-4 personnel grouping, fans are definitely seeing things they've never seen before. That's all anyone really wants to see out of camp from an entertainment perspective. Show the folks in the stands and desperately scrolling social media for bits of information, something they haven't seen before. When it comes to Roman Wilson, Steelers fans haven't seen much of anything. Injuries ruined his rookie season last year. Training camp has been a bit quiet for him through the first handful of practices, as he seems locked into the number 3 receiver spot, which puts him pretty low on the target priority list. But he did finally show Steelers fans something they hadn't seen from him before. Roman Wilson finally makes the play Pittsburgh Steelers fans have been waiting for. In Thursday's practice, Wilson pulled out a spectacular catch over cornerback Joey Porter Jr. that resulted in a 35-yard touchdown. It was a one-on-one rep between the two, a significant win on the outside for last year's third-round pick. According to reports, Wilson ran a double-move deep route and made a leaping catch over Porter as the ball delivered from Mason Rudolph hung in the air a bit longer than desired. Porter was seemingly in good position to defend the pass, but Wilson fought through contact to make a play on the ball at its highest point for the score. Wilson isn't exactly the type of receiver known for spectacular catches on 50-50 balls. But a highlight reel catch is something Steelers fans have been missing from him throughout his short career. Now that he's finally made such a play, maybe a little buzz can follow him into the preseason contests, where he should get a solid chance to shine with plenty of targets. Of course, this one catch isn't going to move Wilson up the depth chart. But it does inspire more confidence that he's on the right track in his development and that he can show up in a clutch moment to make a big play. Training camp started just last week, and Pittsburgh Steelers camp has already been the most compelling so far, thanks to a crazy offseason and all the big storylines coming from it. While the spotlight is mostly on the new veterans who have joined the team, there is a rookie whose flashes on the field right from the start have raised the excitement for what he could bring this season. This player, a recent 2025 top draft pick, is not getting nearly enough recognition for how well he performed in his first week of practice. He is already turning heads and looks like he could be another excellent find for Omar Khan and the Steelers. Derek Harmon is showing exactly why the Steelers couldn't wait to draft him. The biggest question for the Steelers going into the draft was whether they would select a quarterback in the first round. Shedeur Sanders was the most talked about name rumored to be their pick, but it quickly became clear during the pre-draft process that they had a strong interest in Derek Harmon. Defensive line was a key position of need with Cameron Hayward nearing the end of his career, and after their wild card loss, the front office's top priority was to improve the defensive line and stop the run. Harmon's draft stock was all over the place, with mock drafts projecting him anywhere from a top 15 pick to a late first round or early second round selection. In the end, Harmon slid right into Pittsburgh's lap after some teams raised injury concerns. At the NFL Combine, he was medically flagged for a possible shoulder injury. Since then, Harmon has said he is fully healthy and the situation worked out in the Steelers' favor, landing the player they wanted all along. 1 week into his first NFL training camp, Harmon has already shown why the Steelers were confident enough to label him a starter during OTAs. In the first few days of practice, he has made key plays, blowing up a run and batting down a pass. Once the pads come on this week, things will get much more interesting as we get to see what it's really like in a full contact setting instead of just shorts and helmets. Hopefully, we continue to see more big plays and get a clear preview of what Harmon and this defensive line will look like in Week 1. DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers are the shiny new toys for Arthur Smith to work with. As training camp nears the end of its second week, Metcalf and Rodgers have slowly been growing the chemistry they need for the offense to reach its full potential. Speaking after Thursday's practice, Metcalf mentioned some of the early differences Rodgers is making for him. "Just the way I'm viewing the defense," Metcalf said, via Post-Gazette Sports. "I'm looking at down linemen now, looking at the safety rotation, looking at my route adjustments. Just all those little things that I maybe took for granted before, just trying to see the whole field at this point in my career. Trying to see how he views the defense from his point of view." When it comes to reading a defense, many fans assume it's only the quarterback's job to do so. Yet, every position must be able to read the defense at some level, from the offensive line to the backfield, including receivers like Metcalf. For example, if the defense is in zone coverage, both the quarterback and receiver need to know which coverage it is, so they know where the open area to sit down in their route is. If those two aren't on the same page, it leads to miscommunications and errant throws. Some things Metcalf mentions, like the safety rotations, are things he would need to mentally note playing with Rodgers, who certainly expects his receivers to be in a certain place at a certain time. See Mike Williams last year, as an example. These two had something of a slow start to camp, but they've made progress since. On Wednesday, the defense got the best of the offense throughout the team period. Metcalf and the offense seemed to come out with some fire Thursday, and Metcalf himself was involved in a dust-up. However, the connection between Metcalf and Rodgers specifically had some nice moments today. That included a 55-yard bomb for a touchdown between the two, and another 13-yard completion later. Our Alex Kozora noted the connection looked strong today. It's a connection that will have to keep looking that way for the Steelers to succeed offensively. There's not a ton of depth at receiver, and a lot of youth on the offensive line. No matter how creative the Steelers get with their tight ends, it's going to be hard to get much going without the Rodgers and Metcalf connection looking good. The good news is they're already making some progress, but they have a long way to go before the season starts. Pittsburgh Steelers offensive tackle Broderick Jones suffered a groin injury on Sunday, according to Mike DeFabua of The Athletic. Jones battled the issue on Saturday, practicing through it, but missed practice on Sunday and Tuesday. He was limited on Wednesday working in individual drills, but not getting out there in team drills. Veteran Calvin Anderson took the first team's reps on Wednesday, while Dylan Cook has been given those reps in the past. So far in training camp, Jones has struggled, and the injury is of no help. On day one, Jones allowed 2 would-be sacks, including a play where Alex Highsmith dusted him to the inside. The Steelers are plus 170 to win over 9.5 games next season on FanDuel. Our complete FanDuel Sportsbook review shows you how to sign up and use their site. On Friday, Jones struggled again, getting beaten by a spin move from Nick Herbig and allowing 2 more sacks. Jones is no stranger to his high expectations and is aware of them. The pads are not on yet, either, but the first 2 days have been somewhat concerning. Tomlin knows it too. "I expect him to do what we drafted him to do," Tomlin said. He was a left tackle prospect and a highly regarded one when he came out. He was a young guy when he came out, so he's had some on-the-job training meanwhile. "I think it's a big year for him, and one that we can expect him to play and play varsity ball." Jones said Friday there is not much difference from right to left tackle and downplayed the significance of moving around throughout the early portions of his career. With that in mind, his technique needs to improve. "No, I don't think it's different," Jones said. "I've been in the starting lineup. It's still the same position to me. I'm trying to become a starter. They're looking at me to be left tackle, so I just gotta focus on that." If the Steelers can get a big jump out of Jones in his 3rd year, it could really change the trajectory of the offensive line.